and welcome to 5 Questions with Your Classical Educator. My name is Christy Stoddard, and I am the Culture and Events Coordinator, and I have with me today Amanda Reeves. Amanda is a veteran School Lead Instructor, and we were just chatting about this, and this will be her 6th year this fall. So we are very excited to get to know Amanda a little bit, and we have new questions now. Let's just jump right in. Amanda, can you introduce yourself to us? Just take 30 seconds or so and tell us about who you are.
Happily. Yeah, so like Christy said, this will be my 6th year working at School Lead Academy, and it was a long process to get to the point where I am. I was myself classically educated as a homeschool student back in the day, and actually got to take online classes as well, which is, I think, kind of a new wave that's going to be happening in online education where the students are becoming the teachers and having the ability to see kind of both ends of the classroom as a result. So I was classically educated growing up. Studied a lot of Latin and Greek back in the day and absolutely despised it. So when I matriculated to Stanford University for university, I was determined to leave behind the world of the classics. And I spent a year and a half or 2 years studying bioengineering, actually, wanting to eventually go into cancer research. And then realized midway through my sophomore year that actually my true love was in languages and literature and history, and the classics drew me back in. So I ended up graduating with a degree in Greek and Latin.
That's just wonderful. That's so interesting. Thank you. So why do you teach? Why do you teach Latin specifically?
Yeah, I think the short answer of why I teach Latin is because I hated it so much as a student. And I realized, especially as I got into university and had a more positive experience with it, how much a good teacher can make a difference with a particular subject. So I think that partly I teach Latin in hopes that I can give my own students the opportunity and the environment that perhaps would have made me discover my love of the language a little bit earlier than I did. So I think that's one element of it. The other side of just why I love studying Latin and why I find so much joy teaching it is it's a really strange and unusual experience when you're reading an ancient text that is, 2,000 years old, 2,500 years old, whatever it might be. And you see in it resonances of your own experience in your own life that I think develops a lot of empathy. It develops a lot of curiosity, and it's just quite frankly fascinating.
That's wonderful. Well, I can tell you bring a level of excitement and joy to your Latin classes that I'm sure the students just really tap into and love. So let's move on to what book has been formative to who you are?
This is the age-old question. I was thinking even back to the old questions, what's your favorite author? And these are always the hardest questions, I think. But I ended up deciding on Life Together by Dietrich Bonhoeffer. I had the experience of reading it in college, and it's basically just an exploration of what does it mean to be in Christian community? How is it that our relationship to Christ changes our relationships to our brothers and sisters in Christ? And how is it that as we draw closer to the cross, as we reflect more and more on the sanctifying work that Christ has done in our own life, how does that shape our interaction with the world around us? So it's just a beautiful exposition on the role of community in our lives, even going into the role of solitude in our lives and the balance and the dynamics between all of those sorts of things. Yeah, it was the first book I ever took a highlighter to. I remember my first time reading it. Every single page stopped me in my tracks. I said, oh, this is really good. So I took out my highlighter. And then I remember I had a close friend who was reflecting on a lot of the same questions I was at that season. And I'd take a picture of it on my phone and text it to her. And then I'd have to do that with the very next page, because what do you know? The next page was just as good as the last. And goodness, it's a book that I've really enjoyed returning to and continuing to reflect on as my own experience has grown and changed.
Well, thank you for the recommendation. I wrote that one down. I haven't actually read that one by Dietrich
Phenomenal.
Bonhoeffer. Yeah,
phenomenal.
It's going to move to the top of my list. Thank you.
Delightful.
I'll let you know how. Maybe I'll send you text of the picture of the
yes,
pages.
Yes, that's right. It just really got me.
Let's move on to the last question. What goodness could someone expect from your courses?
Yeah, I think in our Latin classes, we have a phenomenal time. We have so much fun. We're giggling and laughing just the entire class. But I think that one of the things that has been most incredible to me as a teacher getting to step into these classes, and one of the things that I've come to expect actually for my students, is that they learn to love Latin. And that is kind of an unusual thing because
Mhm.
it's a rare 9-year-old that comes into a Latin class and is like, oh, this is going to be the best day of my life. Most 9-year-olds don't have much of a sense of, oh, I really want to study Latin. But I find that give them a week or two in class and they will be the most enthusiastic scholars of the subject, finding a lot of joy and delight in their studies. But I think even beyond that, even the fact that students love Latin, I love how my students' experience with Latin begins to shape their understanding of what they're capable and what they might expect from other things in their life. I love how an experience embracing a challenging and a difficult and a subject that many think is boring. I love how that particular experience can kind of reframe the experience of trying new things for other subjects.
No, that's beautiful. Thank you. So which Latin sections are you teaching?
Yeah, so I'll have sections of Latin for children A, B, C, and then one section of Latin 1 this year.
Okay, well, wonderful. Amanda, it was so great to get to talk to you and get to know you a little bit more. Thank you for joining us this morning, and I hope you have a wonderful summer.
Same to you.
I'll see you later. Bye.